think we're going.
Here we are.
Yeah, back for another catharsis healing talk. Laura.
Hey. Good morning, everybody, or afternoon, depending on where you are. This is another catharsis healing talk on a subject I love. But first off, I want to introduce who's all here. Laura. I'm Laura Ketty. This is Laura Philpott. When we're together, we are the Lauras. And also today we have Helmut and Kay Whitaker, our teachers, and Kay is the carrier of the catharsis tradition in our modern world. And these two are some of the best people who walk the planet, and they're here to share with us today again on talk and share. And there'll be a lot of sharing because we love this subject on the topic, the almost unbearable beauty of life. And we were talking about it before the streaming went on about the beautiful life we're living and the important, and one of the major factors of catharsis that happened over my period of time in studying this is I could see beauty. I could feel beauty, and that beauty was coming from within me. And I realized how much that had been taken away from me, from my blind beliefs, from so much programming in life. And now I can see it in others, this programming. And as Helmut beautifully wrote about, part of building the bridge is being to this new world is understanding and feeling and knowing about this beauty. So one of my favorite beautiful rebels, because we're all of us, I swear, who see beauty, as Helmut said, there's nothing more rebellious than going against the program that says you can't touch it, you can't feel it, it's for somebody else. Anyways, one of my favorite beautiful rebels, Kay, you ready to share some more?
Yep. Thank you. A beautiful introduction. So, beauty, that is at the heart. That's at the core of what these true, very, very ancient teachings are all about. Beauty, from their eyes. Yeah. And we see a number of indigenous cultures that still exist currently who talk about beauty and in this very, very deep spiritual way. It's this meaning. And beauty it's made from love, and it creates love. And so love and beauty are, they're always with each other. One makes the other. One makes the other, always. And it's not the same concept of beauty that we've learned in our modern culture. In the modern culture, we think of beauty as a label and something is labeled, that it has beauty or it's beautiful because it has certain parameters that fit the cultural picture. And it's very one-dimensional. It's very surface. And we tag for instance, one kind of person, let's pick a woman. We tag her as having beauty. She's beautiful because she has certain features. Her face looks a certain way, and she's got certain kind of eyes or lips. And her nose isn't too big. Her ears aren't big and sticking out. And her body is shaped a certain way, and her body weight, is just a certain weight, a certain ratio with her height. And she can't be too short or too tall. Very often we've seen, especially through the last 100 years, the tag of beauty and beautiful being slapped onto somebody of a particular race and not the other races. We see it with artwork. We see it with our pets. We have beauty contests for our dogs and our cats and our cows and the pigs and the chickens. And they have to be within a certain parameter, very linear, very two-dimensional. And we've grown up learning and living that kind of concept of what beauty is. Very, very limited, very exclusive. And we've learned the similar kind of limitations to the word love. What is love? In our modern culture, it's very two-dimensional, and it has a lot of conditions. You have to follow all those conditions and fill those conditions if you want people to love you, or want certain people to love you. We hear about these concepts. We live out these concepts from the day that we're born. We're learning about them. We're experiencing them in our lives. And we're not beautiful little kids, and we're not shown love and affection, appreciation, or acceptance unless we follow all those rules, all those guidelines of what being a good little kid is, or a beautiful child, or a beautiful person, or somebody who deserves love. We have all these parameters all decided. They're in our culture. They're woven into all of our blind beliefs of the culture, which are extremely extensive. And they have to do with every aspect of our awareness and our existence and our life within the culture. What the ancients are talking about beauty and love is something very, very different. It's something very deep, very multi-layered, multi-dimensional, something that goes down into the microscopic and the energetic, quantum, you could say, as well as cosmic, universal, cosmic, and everything in between. For them, aliveness is beauty. Aliveness is love. It's full of love. It's full of the radiating out, the giving out of love. And the way the ancients look at the cosmos and the energetic, the quantum level, everything in between, Everything is created out of love. That is where everything in the universe starts. There is love first. And this is totally unconditional love. There are no conditions. Love is there. It's everywhere. It's radiating everywhere. It's being saturating everything, creating and building and designing everything. Everything is deserving of all of this love. Everything, everybody. The ancients look at the universe as being alive and conscious. Just think about that for a second. Feel what that is. It's huge. It's huge. And it is in such absolute contrast to the modern culture belief system. Everything is alive and conscious and full of love and very lovable and giving love. Just radiating out, giving love. Everything is beautiful, has great beauty, and loves beauty. And it radiates out beauty and the appreciation, the gratefulness of beauty out into the whole universe on all levels, to the cosmic, to the quantum, everything in between. Everything that is alive is love, has love, gives love, and it is beauty. It is beautiful beyond comprehension. It gives beauty, it sees beauty, it appreciates beauty, loves beauty, helps stimulate more beauty and more love. The universe has been growing and expanding for its whole existence. And what is growing and expanding is the love. Love begets love. Beauty begets beauty. And they both beget each other, and more of that, more love, more beauty. That's what's expanding. More aliveness. Aliveness begets more aliveness. And so, as we are here existing in our universe, and we're existing as Earth humans at this time, we're experiencing the 3D time-space realm, having a 3D time-space physical body, and all the things go with that in the physical realm. But we're also have a huge energetic component. We are also a spirit, a living spirit that has always been here, always existed, always will be existing, doesn't die or deteriorate in any way whatsoever. When that physical body dies, it just keeps experiencing, finding new things to experience, new places to go. Everything being alive, think about that, feel it. The air, the vacuum of space, whatever that is, it's alive and it's conscious. It thinks, it feels, it has emotions, it has memory, it has love, it has beauty, it has the capacity to perceive everything else. And it perceives love and beauty and everything that's in our universe. And it shares. It shares with everything. Everything, everybody. When we start to just contemplate and feel what that feels like, even if we have to imagine it when we're first starting to think about it, that's okay, that's good. We're tuning in. That's what the imagination is for. Helps us tune in to what's real, especially the kind of things we don't see right off the bat with our physicalness, our humanness. When we let ourselves contemplate and feel the aliveness that's in the universe, and the vacuum is alive. That stuff that our contemporary human scientists have been saying is absolutely nothing. The vacuum is nothing, zero, empty, dead. It's the opposite. Just think about that for a minute. What does it mean to live in a universe where you feel like the space around you, the space into outer space is nothing, and totally perfectly empty, nothing, dead? That's pretty cold. There's no love in that thought. There's no beauty in that thought. There's no connectedness in that thought. There's no sharing in that thought. And if we let ourselves think like the ancestors did, that it's all alive. It's all alive and conscious and feeling and sharing and reaching out to everything, everybody in all directions and dimensions. And there's so much love and beauty and the appreciation of beauty and the love of sharing and connecting, giving, receiving with everything around you. There's so much. And when you think about being here on planet Earth, it's a great planet. And it's got a tremendous amount of life. Things that we even consider in our modern culture as alive. It's got a tremendous amount. But if you add the other thought that everything is alive, then the air, the molecules of the air, the atmosphere, they're all alive. Conscious, feeling, knowing, thinking, watching, sharing, loving, appreciating the beauty of that and their own beauty, their exquisite beauty. That's a very different kind of world to live in. It's very connected. Everything sharing, giving, loving, giving, receiving, constantly. Information, love, nutrition, everything. Everything that anything in our universe could need or want. It's all there. That's the information about the whole universe is being shared all the time. And all kinds of energies, life energies, electrical energies, the light, like sunlight, those kinds of energies, things that we haven't discovered yet. They're all present. They're all alive. They're all conscious, sharing, loving, and being exquisitely beautiful in their own right, and appreciating that beauty and the love and everything else. And we are receiving all of that all the time. All that beauty, all that love, all the incredible diversity of things. Just mind-boggling. You can't comprehend the extremes of diversity that are here available to us on our little planet and out into the cosmos. And our awareness can go anywhere in the cosmos, anywhere on the earth, or inside down in. You want to see the core of the earth? Want to know what it's made of? We can go take a look with our attention. We can interact with anything, any of this aliveness that's all around us, just by our choosing and aiming our attention in those directions. It's all it takes. In the modern culture, we've been cut off from all of this. We've been told it doesn't exist. We've been, for most of the people on the planet, convinced, really dynamically strong, with dogma, believe that none of that exists. It takes quite a bit to convince people of that. We're trained from birth. We're taught that from birth. And then it's reinforced over and over and over through our lives. It's the only way we're able to believe it, because human beings, as an entity, as a creature, we're all connected to this. We're naturally tuned in. And we have to close that off from our conscious awareness in order to believe that none of that exists. That we are all separated, separate islands. It's a horrific thing to do to any living creature, anybody, any kind of creature in the universe, to get them to believe that they're cut off, so that they energetically and with their mental focus, awareness, totally just cut themselves off from everybody, everything else, to not be able to feel the love that's there, to not be able to understand what that kind of pure, unconditional love is. It doesn't matter who you are, what you've been doing, what sort of human life you've been leading, doesn't matter. All that love is still there, and it's still coming to you, and your own beingness is built out of that love, and is still loving, still shining it out, and still has exquisite beauty, incredible beauty. Still connected, even though we don't believe we aren't. We are still connected. And that higher part of ourselves, or the spiritual aspects of our beingness, is still knowing about all this connection and living it, being it, sharing, receiving. There's no way we have the power to cut any of that off. We only have the power to shut down our focus, the focus of our conscious awareness. shut down the operations of our consciousness in that way. That we have the power to do. And we've been trained to give away that power to others and to the culture. And continue to live a life separated in a little box, totally closed off, and only perceiving, we think we perceive, the kind of information that has been given to us by our culture. And we think that that's real. And so we pretend that that's what we're seeing, and that's what's happening, and that's what the interactions are that we're going through in our daily life. It's a fantasy. It's a pretend existence, a pretend world, shut off, very, very lonely, very scary, very ugly. The only thing that we call love in this modern culture, which is very conditional, we think that's real, that's love, that's real love, and that's all there is. And if we don't live up to the conditions, then we don't get acceptance. We don't get what this attention is that we think is love. We don't get the interactions that we're hoping for, that we think is love. And we end up thinking the only thing that has beauty are things that follow the prescription from the culture, that are very two-dimensional, and usually just doesn't have much of anything to do with real beauty or real love or real aliveness. In the ancient teachings, in Katasi, the goal of the teachings, the goal of the teachers of the teaching is to give self-sufficiency to those who want to study it, to give freedom, to teach them how, lead them to the water, teach them how to do all these things for themselves, to be able to perceive this deep, 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 beautiful, beautiful love. And this deep, far-reaching beauty. And what that is, to perceive it, to feel it, to be it, to live a life based on that kind of beauty and love. The Navajo call this walking in beauty. And they regard this extremely highly. One of the most important aspects of life and things to learn in life is what this beauty is and how to be it, how to live it, how to perceive it, how to see it and feel it in others, how to share it. And share it freely, like unconditional love. Giving love that has no conditions. Doesn't matter who you are, what you look like, where you've been, where you grew up, what kind of things you did in your life. Unconditional love. Still loving people, all people, no matter what. We think about that when it gets personal, like our own family, our mate, our children, our parents, our other relatives, our best friends. living a life that just freely offers to them all the time, no matter what is happening. Love and beauty. That's what the beauty is. When the ancients and some of the currently alive indigenous people, medicine people that I have been friends with, that I've studied with, and they talk about perceiving, feeling, experiencing this energy, this field, this space that is around us, whether it's thought of as a vacuum or the atmosphere or whatever. It's what's inside us, in the spaces inside us. It's outside of our physical bodies. It's inside and outside of everything else. And this is this aliveness, this field of consciousness and aliveness, very, very cosmic, very godly, very sacred. And everything is there. All the things that are radiating out of everything in our existence, all the communication that's going on between everything, all the love that's being given and received, and the beauty and the information, just information and history and of the whole universe. It's all in this field that's right here. And when we allow ourselves to perceive it, the teaching that is there is beyond words. The love that's there, the beauty that is there, the sharing, the acceptance of everything else around you, accepting you, approving of you, giving you this love and sharing everything, no matter what, all unconditional. And it's so vibrant and spectacular and interactive. It's, if you want to put a visual picture to some of what it might look like or feel like, it's like fireworks of all kinds of colors and energies going off everywhere all the time. And it's bathing in the most delicious sunlight and smelling the water on the air and the sacredness of the water and what water is, how incredibly alive water is. All these things, it's all there. And the feeling of it is so delicious, almost unbearably delicious and delightful. And it's all very healing. When we experience that, we get healing on all levels. When we cut ourselves off from it, going into the beliefs of the modern culture and into that thought form world, we're slowly killing ourselves. We're shutting ourselves off from our life source. And it makes disease, all kinds, everything you could think of. But when we're allowing ourselves to perceive all this aliveness. And this is who and what we are. You could say it's our birthright. It's our right as an entity that exists through time and outside of time and space, through eons and eons and eons and eons, always experiencing and interacting and connecting and loving and living in beauty. We're, as the modern humans who cut ourselves off, we're a minority in the universe, a very, very, very small minority of things that have chosen to cut ourselves off from the rest of everybody, everything else, and all the love and all that beauty, all that aliveness. So that's the story of the almost unbearable exquisiteness of beauty, the story of beauty. It comes hand in hand with love and aliveness. It's all about that and how beautiful love and aliveness are. And that means you. So I think I would like to hear now what the Lauras have to say about beauty.
Oops, let me unmute.
Well, as a student of Katasi, all I can really say is I live with unconditional happiness part of my day. And it's just, I see things differently than I used to. I'm going to give an example. I remember for a long time, I would sit and meditate in the evenings, and I was trying to connect with something outside myself, right? Like, I just want to talk to the universe. But until I started doing the song ceremony over and over and over and over again, and realized that that is in me, that divineness is in me, that I really started to connect with stuff. And that knowingness that I was infinite and eternal, that's not knowing it is what was blocking all that. So the more I got to know my own song, the more I was able to connect with stuff around me. I'm going to give an example. I often get up in the morning to watch the sunrise, and I walk with my dogs, and it's really easy to have your mind just kind of go off and not really pay attention. But the more I'm in song, I have this friend that comes every once in a while, and I'll feel this little tiny kind of trickle, like, hey, I'm here. And I like, oh, hi. And I could feel the same energy. And as soon as I acknowledge it, it's this wind, or I don't know what to call it, because as soon as I acknowledge it, then it really envelops me. I'm like, oh, you're cold. But it's like it does a little trickly thing, and then a little, like, as soon as I acknowledge it, it just kind of envelops me, like, oh, nice, how wonderful. But I think about how long I've been blind to all of that. And like, the more I'm in my song, the more I'm aware of the beauty that's around. And I'm so happy. I see and feel that connectedness of everybody else, from the dog to people. And even going to the grocery store, I feel so much love for that divineness that's all around me. And it doesn't even have to be what our society, would say is alive, because I can feel it with the trees. I can feel it with the rocks. It's just expanded my whole consciousness, my awareness, that I wanted that. And I put that out there, and I think I found years where I was just searching. And with Katasi, I have found, and the best I could say is I'm happy. I'm happy and joyful, and I can feel that connectedness, and it's definitely something to be striving for.
What about you?
Sorry, kind of went off. I'm like, but it's hard. I mean, it's hard to explain. I mean, like I tried so hard. I just wanted to connect with that infinite part of myself, and it's possible. It really is, and it's amazing once you find it. But it's not outside myself. It's here, and it's connected to everything. Like, it's wow. I'm in awe every day. And I get lots of, oh, hey, I saw that. I wasn't aware of it before, because that's our society doesn't stress it, doesn't say it's there. And it's there. It's really exciting. Wonderful. And I have that constant excitement.
I love that's the first time I've heard unconditional happiness. I'm going to use that one, because it's one of the ways that of cutting us off on the beauty is no, we can't be happy when bad things are happening in the world. You know, and this is it again, similar to Laura. It was got my Kleenex. Hard to talk about because it's so incredible. I wished I could I always say I wish I could plug other people into this feeling I have for me now. And I actually, back before I started Katasi, I was at another retreat, and I went back to journal, and I ended up writing this book. It just like flowed out of me. It was called Rex and Lloyd Lose and Find Beauty. And Beauty was an acorn who wanted to live. And I wrote it as a children's book with, letting Beauty find freedom was how she was supposed to live. And it was, in the book, there was so much about the characters being aspects of society and blind beliefs and my mask that were holding back my beauty. It was just like, and so it's always been a huge subject of what was beauty for me and finding beauty. And I didn't really know how huge it was until I touched it. And Helmut said it often, and I can't remember off the top of my head if it came from your book, Kay, The Reluctant Shaman, or not, but it was all of a sudden like touching creation, eyes open, gloves off. I was actually touching it. And it was when we were broadcasting unconditional love. You were having us share unconditional love out to the world. And Kay, it was one of the level 2 trainings. Kay actually took my hands and said, give it to yourself. And talk about falling off a web. We're not, it was just like, I have always had a reason to find and offer unconditional love in other people, but I'd never found it for myself. And it was the most euphoric, beautiful, I'd even dare to say orgasmic. It was just like rattling, barfing, because I was so rattled. Like all of that could be in my body at one moment. I can still see your eyes like, oh, she got it, moving to the next. I was like, and there it is. It wasn't like that at all. It was almost like, yeah, it's delicious, isn't it? And once you find it, I mean, everybody kept telling me, because I was studying modern shamanism and all these other things. And they're like, you're going to have to take drugs. You're going to have to do these shrooms, ayahuasca. If you ever want to get there, you're going to have to do that. To ever touch it and feel it. I can guarantee I've never touched any of those things. I'm a little boring and nervous about, I can barely drink caffeine without getting, over the top. You don't need to. I touched it and I felt it. And as much as it rattled me and I almost had to drop it, I wanted it again. And what it was beauty with all of my senses too. I mean, this is that where you said beauty's made of love. I mean, it's just like, and then what happened next is the world was more beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
There was more love in the world than I'd ever noticed before. I loved me. And that broke everything open. It was like, when I could love me, I understood what real unconditional was love. I understood what real beauty was. I needed that. I needed to feel that to then really open up my spirit senses, because I'd shut down all the other stuff around me because I was afraid of it. And once I could feel love, this is a long story, I was feeling it touch me. And it wasn't evil. It wasn't bad. It wasn't going to take me to hell. There wasn't a hell. Sorry. I was in hell by not touching it. I constantly quote Katie Lane's song, Constant Craving. I mean, the day I wrote that book, that song was on repeat right before. There's lines in about this constant craving, and as it is, there's the words are poetry. And it really was what I was going through. I was craving something. There was more. And it was making me miserable not touching it. And what it was is this beauty, and the more I touched the beauty, the more I felt my song and touched the beauty, my spirit sense have opened up, because I'm fearless. It's just this beautiful, wonderful, amazing, rebellious, gorgeous world out there that we can all touch, and we're supposed to touch. We're not supposed to be disconnected. We're supposed to be feeling that beauty constantly. It's food, it's sunlight, it is water, it is everything. So that's my thought. You did ask, and I made it through without crying. I'm totally having a hot flash, but outside of that, I'm crying, not crying. It is, and with that beauty and that feeling of love, all you have next is that gratitude for it.
Yes.
That gratitude. I mean, it's just like it feeds each other, and then you're feeling grateful, and then you feel beautiful. And I wanted beauty. I mean, I tried the exterior, everything to find beauty in art, in other things. And I can't explain it, because you think you know it and you think you're doing it, but it's like the numbed down, washed down version of it, until you can open up all those senses. And until you hit that, like that egg cracking gift that,
And then it floods in. And then I remember I was just bawling, because I'd never felt love that deep and that full and unconditional.
And it was me.
Yeah.
For me.
For me. Yes.
I rock. And I love it.
I can still feel it.
I know. And then your DNA. Oh, wait. Are we still talking? Everybody else still there? Sorry. That's what's really fun. You hit that like unconditional love, beauty, and song and life energy in your DNA, because it's happening right now. It's just like that tingling. When you were saying the fireworks, like if you could explain it, that was like, I was there with you. Exactly. It's like it's like a fireworks show of sparkly unicorn lights. And I know everybody thinks we're crazy for it, but it's just the way we exist. And I don't want to go back. I won't go back. I mean, there's no doubt about it. You can't, once you reach, there's no back door on this. It's impossible for you to unsee what you saw. And then that craving pushes you to wanting more of that beauty. You know, it's just like to drink more of that. It is like the healthiest craving you could have. And then you just starve. I don't know how to explain it. You just are this. And you know, there are moments I forget that I forget there's all this beauty and all this other things. And then there are the moments that I remember after being out of it. And those moments of forgetting are far less and less.
Yeah.
I mean, it really surprises people when I tell them how much I am in love with this life and this planet and being human. That's rebellious. It's so rebellious. Okay, I'm done.
Me too.
All right.
Oh, thank you guys.
Yeah.
It was magnificent and quite beautiful.
I think Helen should share.
Yeah.
You have 9 minutes. I'm kidding.
What could I possibly add to this?
What did you experience?
That I'm having the opportunity to play with gorgeously beautiful giants. What more do you want? It's just, I've always said my life was about the relentless pursuit of truth. And that's still true, but really, it's about the relentless pursuit of love and beauty. And it's not like, that isn't even accurate anymore. It's like the relentless living of love and beauty and truth. So thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing this wonderful, crazy, rebellious, amazing thing with us. And thank you, Kay, for getting us all high on this.
I like that.
Me too.
Oh, thank you. I think we're done.
I think we are.
Okay, we have a few minutes left to fill up if you want to. If you guys want to join us, whoever is listening to this now or later, first of all, thanks for joining us live. That's always cool to know you're here. And if you want to join us on this journey, if you haven't yet, you can find more. First of all, you can get the song ceremony by going to katase.world. And you can also find out more about what's coming, what we have in store, the studies that we offer, all this kind of stuff. And you can also go to lauraketty.com. You can find a lot of that stuff there too. And if anybody has any questions, we have some time. Thank you again. So beautiful.
I think a question came in. Deanna. I'm not sure if everybody can see your question.
That would be the advanced studies.
Yeah.
You're going to have to read the question.
Oh. Deanna asks, what level of studies do I get to see the center of Earth?
Any level you want.
Yeah.
It's a matter of learning about focusing your attention.
Honey, you foiled my plan to get her into advanced studies.
Oops.
But now the cat is out of the bag, so.
All the teachings are aiming in the same direction. And they're teaching about song, your own entity, your own aliveness, your own beauty, your own love, how to feel it, how to experience it, how to keep that feeling 24 hours a day. That's what we call being in song. Being aware of that wholeness of yourself, the who and what, and making that your foundation, coming from that. All the teachings, they all teach about that, and they teach about it a little deeper, a little deeper, a little deeper. And we're learning about the who and what we are, what that really means. What is our consciousness? What is our attention? How do we focus it on purpose with our conscious awareness? And when we learn how to do that, this is our oyster. We can take our attention anywhere, at any time, and we can ask any questions of the universe about anything and get answers, true, accurate answers, because all that information is there in the universe. And all we have to do is focus our attention on it and ask. And it's given, comes to us. We become aware of it. So that's what all the teachings are with each level. And the advanced teachings are obviously a little more advanced than the beginning ones. But with each level, it goes deeper, farther, richer. The tools, there's tools with every level that help you learn how to do this and learn how to free yourself from the grasp of the modern culture, the culturalization programming, what the Edicas call the masks. That's what real waking up is getting totally free from all the cultural dictates and lies. And then when you start getting those things out of the way, they've been blocking this incredible, beautiful, exquisite, full of love universe. And the aliveness and the beauty of all of it. And we're connected to that deeply, always connected, never severed. And this becomes apparent. The freer you are from the dictates and the lies of the culture, the more these things are available to you in your perception. And it just keeps growing. because the universe is pretty darn big. And so with all of its dimensions and layers and aspects, and it is big. So this learning, this exploring never stops. It never ends, and it never loses its excitement and fun and happy. It's the big adventure. I would say this is the true hero's quest. For sure. Any other thoughts?
Deanna says, thank you. Thanks for being on this journey with us, Deanna.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun having more people see truth. And I know and I know I'm not even close to what you all see, but it's the more I just, I sometimes feel like a child, and that's why I enjoy children, is because they're still seeing it. They're still seeing the wonder and the innocence, and it's beautiful. They haven't been told that it's not beautiful yet, or believed it's not beautiful yet. And so I just, every time there's another new student and somebody else walking this walk, it's, go ahead.
I was going to say what's helped me too is like one of the last talks you had talked about questioning everything. So I've been doing that, and boy, I mean, it opens up your world in so many ways when you start questioning everything. It's like, wow. I mean, wow, seriously.
Yeah, that's one of the most important parts of the teachings, and that starts from the very beginning, questioning everything. And that's very rebellious. It's as we're growing up and in our schools, and parents, they don't want you to question. They want you to learn things the way they learned them, and this is what the world is, and this is who and what you are, and you got to be just like this and accept that life. Yeah, it's changing, and world is changing, and people are waking up, and it's the time for people to wake up, and all of the culturalization and lies.
Okay. Beautiful.
So
Beautiful,
that's
beautiful,
my
beautiful.
picture for everyone. What we picture, what we keep in our mind, we keep thinking and picturing and talking about, repeating over and over and over. That's what we end up manifesting. We end up believing it deeper, and we manifest it. So if you want to get out the conventional world full of its lies and be able to see this much bigger, greater universe beyond that is inside you and everywhere else around you, got to question everything.
Thank you,
Okay.
Kay.
Thank you, Laura. And thank you, Laura. And thank you, Helmut. And thank you, everybody out there. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We see you next time.
See you next time. Love you.
Love you.
Love you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.